If you're standing in a wine shop, staring at the bottles, the weight of holiday wine pairings on your shoulders, this episode is for you. Welcome to Modo di Bere, the podcast about local drinks and local sayings. I'm your host, Rose Thomas Bannister. Welcome to a special edition of the Modo di Bere podcast, celebrating the release of the Fall and Winter Holiday Wine Pairing Guide. You can read and refer to this guide throughout the holiday season at mododibere.com/magazine, where you can also check out the latest advice from our curmudgeon, the columnist who shares opinions from the Ridgewood, New York drinking scene. The curmudgeon has declared Open Your Wine Autumn, suggesting that you stop sitting on those special bottles and just drink them already. If you haven't yet subscribed to our newsletter to keep up with this and other releases from the Modoverse, please do go to mododibere.com and enter your email address. In this special holiday edition, I want to extend a special thank you to all of our generous Patreon supporters. If you love the writing, interviews, and videos that the small but growing team at Modo di Bere works hard to create, please do consider becoming a supporter at patreon.com/mododibere. Before I present this year's very Italian fall and winter holiday wine and food pairing guide, I want to refer you back to Season 2, Episode 5 of this podcast, an interview with food and wine pairing expert Joyce Lin. She goes over the basics of food and wine pairing beautifully in that interview. Without further ado, here is the 2025 Modo di Bere Guide to Italian Wine versus American Fall and Winter Holidays, which is written by yours truly, Rose Thomas Bannister. Imagine you're a holiday dish. Pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, roast beast. The wine in the glass should approach your rich forkfuls like a sparring partner who literally keeps you on your toes. Like a dancing partner with muscle, pushing against your hands just a little bit, so there's enough resistance to feel what you communicate by pushing back. We're told that food and wine pairing is about harmony, but that doesn't mean one player is a pushover. A good conversation partner doesn't insult you, but that doesn't mean they agree with everything you say. A great pairing includes an element of surprise. Late-year American holidays are all about fat, gravy, casserole, cheese stretching between the utensil and the mac and cheese. Bygone traditional foodways, virtually extinct, land on the holiday table and gleam with gravitas. These moments scream for wines high in acid, tannin, and flavor to clean your mouth and prepare it for the next loaded, herby, spicy bite. Enter Italy. Italian wines have backbone, just like the country itself, with its mountainous spine. Traditional grape varieties grown on steep slopes and rolling hills become high-personality wines, perfect for standing up to bold flavors and rich textures. The reds are high in tannin, in acid. The whites are expressive, the bubbles exuberant, and the traditional rosés, properly called rosatos in Italy, can be so dark in color that they're nearly chilled reds. I love them. I love them all. And I love sharing them with you. Cheese board versus Etna Bianco. Did you know that white wines are actually more fabulous than red wines for pairing with cheese? I've chosen white wine born on the Sicilian volcano for your holiday cheese board because the bright blend of Catarratto and Caricante, combined with that extra oomph that volcanic soil tends to impart, is the perfect opening pairing for a holiday full of intriguing combinations. Snack board versus Sardinian white. I imagine that your snack board includes a relish tray, known on the East Coast as crudités, crackers or sourdough bread, some lovely cured beets, and some trendy tinned fish. Growing up in the Midwest, we had a literal plastic tray with wedge-shaped compartments for carrot and celery sticks, radish quarters, baby sour pickles, and black olives from a can. The central round compartment contained ranch dressing. Bright veggie flavors, oily tinned fish, luscious salumi, and especially pickles call for a savory wine aged underfloor, like Fino or Manzanilla sherry from southern Spain. Did you know they make a wine like that in Italy? I almost don't want to tell you about Vernaccia di Oristano because you're so unlikely to find it. Luckily, I have a second Sardinian suggestion for your snack pairing needs: Vermentino. It's not aged underfloor, but ask for one from Gallura, the DOCG zone for this wine. A good Vermentino from Cinque Terre or Tuscany can also deliver lime and tropical fruit flavors with a salty, savory finish. A DOCG is the top quality category of Italian wine regions, but there are many excellent wines to be found in the DOC and IGT categories as well. Latkes versus Asolo Prosecco. Don't sleep on Prosecco, I always say, but also don't pair your latkes with a bottle that's simple, cheap, and sweet. A crisp, perfect latke, whether gobbled straight from the hot pan by a hungry chef or plated with creme fraiche and fancy fish eggs, would be mind-blowing with the sip of Asolo Prosecco. The Valdobbiadene DOCG in Prosecco land is rightfully getting some attention for its high-end, fresh and floral Proseccos born in beautiful terraced vineyards, but the wines from Asolo DOCG offer a mineral note like a salty surprise. If you can't find these specific Proseccos at your local shop, look for a col fondo style, the cloudy Prosecco made in an ancient style before Petnat was hip. Lobster Mac versus Collio Pinot Blanc. I'm crazy about the indigenous varieties of Friuli Venezia Giulia, as fans of this podcast well know, but the international, French vines also have a long history in the region. There is a grape variety that Friulian winemakers speak about with deepest respect, and that grape is Pinot Blanc. My personal tasting note for a cool, creamy Pinot Blanc is that it reminds me of a snowy winter day. The elegance and minerality typical to the Collio region will match your seafood in fanciness and weight, with sufficient acidity to cut through a melange of melty cheese. Mushroom Wellington versus Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. While a Barolo or Brunello would be a traditional match for a mushroom main, I'm trying to steer away from the famous Italian styles that people reach for at the holidays without my help. May I please introduce you to Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. This Sangiovese-based blend is produced in and around the Tuscan town of Montepulciano and should not be confused with wines made from the Montepulciano grape popular in Abruzzo. Vino Nobile is a gorgeous expression of Sangiovese that, to my senses, often presents notes of mushrooms and a little sweet mint. Swap it out where you'd use Barolo or Pinot Noir with your next earthy dish. And please write me to let me know what you think. Roast beast versus Aglianico. People need to drink more Aglianico, and your holiday roast beast is the perfect excuse. Aglianico is the great red grape of southern Italy, holding court with Nebbiolo in the north and Sangiovese in the center. It's big, it's dark, it's high in acid and tannin. Aglianico develops gorgeous, complex flavors with age, and it's got a burlier character than the Barolos and Brunellos you already know. Aglianico from the larger regional DOCs offers great value, but stricter aging requirements make for serious, holiday-worthy bottles in the 3 DOCGs for Aglianico: Taberno and Terrassi from Campania and Volture from Basilicata. You could make trying them all your whole personality. Thanksgiving versus Valpolicella Superiore. I've been sitting on the perfect wine pairing for turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. I've had it under my hat since long before I had a magazine to share it in, and now the moment has finally arrived. A drum roll, please, for Valpolicella Superiore. If you like Italian wines, or if you visit Italian-American family at Christmas time, I bet you've heard of Amarone, a huge wine with flavors and alcohol boosted by a second fermentation with dried grapes. But Amarone would overwhelm poultry. Amarone would drown out the delicate sage in your stuffing, the cranberry in your sauce. The unre-fermented wines from the Valpolicella region are made from the same blend of Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinara grapes. These are fresh, medium-bodied reds with the typical notes of cherry and a touch of pepper that will echo your gravy's spice. A bright and juicy Valpolicella Classico will do, but the Superiore version with a little extra flavor and weight hits the sweet spot for balancing a bite of juicy roasted turkey with crispy skin. Brussels sprouts versus pecorino. While I wish you a delicious and non-bitter sprout for your holiday, that's not to say that this isn't tricky to pair. To match a green vegetable with lots of personality, I offer pecorino. This is a grape popular in the central Italian regions of Marche and Abruzzo that I recommend to lovers of Chenin Blanc. It's got a fascinating texture and a note of sourish green melon candy that will play nicely with your holiday vegetable sides. Cerasuolo d'Abruzzo versus Hoppinjon. Another disambiguation. I'm suggesting the characterful rosato, rosé, from Abruzzo, based on the Montepulciano grape, to pair with good luck, slow-simmered black-eyed peas and pork. Honestly, if you accidentally buy a Cerasuolo di Vittoria, a red wine from Sicily's only DOCG, made with Nero d'Avola and Frappato, that pairing would also be great. But I invite you to search for a Cerasuolo d'Abruzzo or another Italian rosato that's darker than Provence pink so that you can join my crush on loud, flavorful Italian blush. 3 types of pie versus 3 lightly sweet, bubbly wines. Fruit pies, Moscato d'Asti. Try to spend at least $20. Sip on this with fruit pie and let the friendly bubbles comp your compote with surprising complexity. Cream pies. Pick up Bracchetto, a sweet bubbly red from the same region in Piemonte that's known for pairing beautifully with chocolate, and sip it with a triangle of custardy coconut, banana cream, or chocolate silk. Pumpkin pie. Find a sweet Lambrusco and indulge. This will also pair great with candied yams. Remember that dessert pairings are best when the wine is a little sweeter than the food, and save the dry Lambrusco for your savory sweet potatoes with brown butter and sage. Gingerbread versus sweet Marsala. If you can find a sweet Marsala that's priced above sauce grade, I think this fortified wine from Sicily would be spectacular with gingerbread spice. If not, a Vinsanto from Tuscany or a Ricciotto from the aforementioned Valpolicella region would also be very nice. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this holiday guide and found it useful. Wherever you go and whatever you like to drink, always remember to enjoy your life and to never stop learning. Happy holidays! Support us on Patreon. Grab the newsletter at mododibere.com and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Modo di Bere to watch the travel show Modo di Bere TV. Music for the show was composed by Ercilia Prosperi for the band Oh. Purchase their music at the link in the notes.